Hope you're doing well. This is Anna with Soul Embrace Tarot. We're gonna look. I hope you're all doing well. Did I say that? I feel like I said that already. Oh Lord. Hello, Mercury Retrograde. So that's what we're talking about. Mercury Retrograde always gets me. My words get twisted. I always feel like I'm having some kind of mental breakdown because my everything gets mixed up. So please forgive me ahead of time if, just be patient with me. And that's the key word during a retrograde for Mercury in particular is have patience, right? Try not to rush into decisions. Make sure you double, triple check everything. The Mercury retrograde that we are currently in started November 25th, and it's supposed to last through December 15th. So we just have a couple more weeks left. You can do it. Mercury rules communication, technology, transportation, education as well. I'm sure I'm missing stuff. I'm not an expert. I'm not an astrologer. So those of you that know more, please chime in the comments. It's always appreciated when everybody shares. Things can go wrong with communication. When you're speaking to someone in a conversation, there could be misunderstandings because we make assumptions, right? Don't make assumptions. Count to 5 in your head before you respond to something so that you know for sure that what you're saying is the right thing that you want to say. Sometimes your phone won't work, and take those as signs. I would just take those as signs that maybe at that moment you're not really supposed to have that conversation that you want to have, right? Transportation sometimes, and that's really that's related to the technology. Sometimes your car won't start. Sometimes the bus gets delayed. Whatever it is, patience is going to be key during this phase. Count to 5 to 10 in your head before you respond to something, before you say something. Just slow your roll. Make sure you double check any plans that you had. Sorry, I should have probably done this before Thanksgiving. I'm sure there were a lot of conversations that could have been avoided during Thanksgiving. So sorry. Just relax as much as you can and take time. Double check things, right? You're going to have to just maybe slow down a little bit during this phase. Now that we know all that, don't make any rash decisions. Remember, just slow it down. Double, triple analyze something. Triple check something. Make sure you double check that you put that alarm that has to wake you up at a certain time. A notification. Double check that your appointments. Seriously. It's just do it. Spirit, for the collective that will be watching, let's take this as guidance or just to see what message do they need to know at this time during the retrograde, Spirit. This is for the collective. Ooh. Yeah, I should have done this before Thanksgiving. I know many of you aren't in the U.S., but for us in the U.S., Thanksgiving is supposed to be a beautiful time of reflection, of gratitude, of giving thanks for and acknowledging the things that we should be grateful for at this time. It's like the one time. And so families and friends get together. But we know there's a lot of family dynamics that aren't healthy. And, things sometimes come out at the family gathering that really should probably be dealt with throughout the year or at any other time other than when you're trying to gather as a family. It can be a volatile sort of time. People that you avoid all year and that you avoid, I'm still talking. People that you avoid all year because there's unresolved issues, right? And we avoid them like the plague. And then all of a sudden you're forced to come together for a holiday celebration. And, you try to, and goodness gracious, I know there were a lot of uncomfortable conversations with this Mercury retrograde right smack dab in the middle of Thanksgiving there. So, there's some, okay. So yeah. Sorry. I don't mean to laugh at people's misfortune. I really don't. I'm just because I understand. I understand. But you're resourceful. This is Spirit is telling you you're resourceful. There's some things that have to be dealt with. Okay. And again, not everyone will resonate with this particular message. Yeah. A lot of you, some of you, maybe just one of you, are walking away from unhealthy relationships. There's the disputes that I was talking about here with the 10 of cups in reverse. That's your foundation is when I think of a foundation, I think of a tree with the roots really deeply embedded, healthy roots. When you're establishing a firm foundation, you're establishing your roots into something, whatever it is, a relationship. It can be symbolic roots, right? I mean, obviously it's symbolic, it's energetic. Your career, your your family, whatever it is, a place that you decide to move to, everything in life, you establish different types of foundations. You kind of settle in. You try to learn more about the situation that you're in the moment, whether it's a relationship, career, whatever. When the foundation is dysfunctional, when it's not working, when the foundation isn't really set, but yet you still try to move forward into a relationship. You try to move forward into a career that you're not feeling, but you're forcing yourself. A lot of things crumble. The foundation, that dysfunctional or distorted foundation, the roots aren't deep. They're actually, it's been overwatered. That's very symbolic there, Anna. When you overwater, water representing emotions of things that aren't said, things that, and then they kind of fester, unsaid feelings and unresolved emotions, unresolved issues with family, with friends, with yourself, it festers. And that's overwatering, right? Because that emotion is very deep. And you overwater the roots, they rot, and the tree falls eventually. It dies, right? So this is symbolic here for dealing with the unhealthy relationships in your life. This message has been coming through a lot for a collective, and even for the readings, which are basically collective readings for the signs. Those have been pretty much collective readings for anybody that really is drawn to the reading. If you're curious or whatever, there's a message in there possibly for you. The theme has been releasing unhealthy relationships. For a collective of people on our planet, there's been a stirring of dealing with things that have been deeply embedded, that have been pushed aside because we don't want to deal with it. We don't like truth. We don't like facing truth sometimes because it's harsh, it's difficult, it's hard to admit sometimes that when we're the ones that are in the wrong, right? It's not about blaming, but, man, that got deep. Anyway, dealing with the broken family. The Thanksgiving time is a perfect example of that, where people that have broken pieces as individuals come together to a family or a group or a unit that has broken as well. And there's a lot of that. I know there's a lot of happy families out there, but maybe the people that are drawn to me are the ones that aren't so happy. We're all dysfunctional in some way, shape, or form. So we're the community of the dysfunctional. And that's okay. Everybody needs a community. but we're fixing our shit, right? Or wanting to. Just the desire to want to fix something that you know is broken is enough. That desire, look around you, look at the people on in the news, don't look at them for too long, try and stay away as much as you can. But really look at the world, people who are broken, who really don't have any interest or inclination to really look at themselves. We're surrounded by those people. So just the fact that if you are curious about having a desire, even if you can't fulfill it, having the desire to make a change is really the beginning of your blossoming, right? Of your empowering yourself. So kudos to you if you have that inclination. Even just a curiosity is the beginning. Just a curiosity, a thought, that little drop, that little seed that's planted is the beginning of your growth. So yay. Releasing unhealthy relationships, dealing with the broken family. Maybe you are the glue that can put it back together. And maybe, maybe that is your role, or maybe it isn't. Don't force a role on yourself if it doesn't feel like that's really what you're meant to do. It's hard to release family. I've mentioned this before, right? But you can energetically set boundaries and know where a line cannot be crossed anymore for you with certain people in your life. It's okay to do that. And it's okay if you set an energetic boundary and it fails. Try it again. And keep trying it. You can practice. You can pretend the people are in front of you and just practice, You may think, oh gosh, someone's going to think I'm crazy. Who gives a fuck what people think? Keep practicing it, and eventually you become comfortable with it. You kind of play all the scenarios. Imagine every scenario. Imagine setting a boundary, I don't know, with whoever it is in your family. Let's say it's your mom or your brother or your cousin, whoever. And you keep having that fake conversation. You just practice. Like when you're in school and you have to do a project and you stand in front of the mirror and you pretend you're doing your presentation. Do the same thing with conversations with family. It doesn't mean that you ever have to have that conversation. Because again, I've said this many times, or at least it feels like I have, that just because you're ready to either apologize to someone or forgive someone, it doesn't mean that that person is ready to forgive or apologize. You understand? So just because you're ready doesn't mean the other person or the other entity is ready for your action. So sometimes it has to be just symbolic. You can make it a little ritual in your own privacy, in your own safety and sanctuary, right? So yeah. Whew. I exhausted myself. Okay, so walking away, right? Moving on. But sometimes we get so stuck. And what does this have to do with Mercury retrograde? Well, because maybe this is the time you got this time specifically to really maybe ponder on it. Maybe this is the time for you now to really look at your relationships in your life and to determine which one is serving me in what my goals are. I forgot to mention, you're showing up as a magician. I was going to say musician. Maybe some of you are musicians. But you're also coming through as the magician. Okay? The magician has all of the tools available to be able to manifest anything that the magician wants. The magician speaks his truth. Okay? He has the cups because he's able to handle his emotions, understand emotions, express emotions, deal with other people's emotions, because the magician is trying to manifest something, okay? He's very resourceful, very creative. He knows how to use all the tools. He has the pentacle. Now, you might think, I don't got pentacles. I got no money. But you have skills that can get you money. You have skills and the ability to bring towards you the energy of money. Remember, we have to love and respect money. If we don't love and respect money and treat it as a friend, I've said this before too. If we don't respect and love money as if it were a friend, it won't come visit you for Christmas. It won't. Maybe that's, for some of you, maybe that's a broken relationship that you have with money. And you feel like, I'm always in need. I never have enough. Change that and imagine that you do have enough. Have that conversation with money. Imagine it's a person in front of you. Money, I love you. And money's going to be like, bitch, no, you don't. How come you're always throwing me away, wasting me? You know what I mean? Like, those are, that there's creativity there. That's where creativity comes in. That having that conversation with money as a person. What the fuck? Anna's crazy. Really? Then think about it. Just pretend. Just do it. And you kind of imagine that it's energy is and money is energy. It's an exchange, energy. Shit, Mercury. I feel bad for Mercury. I actually appreciate Mercury retrograde because it really is an opportunity to get you to focus. You understand? It's an opportunity to get you to really, really slow down so that you don't make mistakes. So that, it's a blessing. So thank you, Mercury. In your retrogradeness, right? Back to the magician. The magician speaks his truth because ultimately he knows that honesty is the best policy, right? So there's honesty that needs to come through here. The magician is speaking his power into the universe. You need to do the same. These relationships can be holding you back from really becoming the magician as well, okay? This is your power here. The ability to really communicate clearly and properly, even in a retrograde, because the magician takes time. He has the passion. He understands that it can be a difficult situation to walk away from broken relationships, from relationships that kind of like hold you back. It's time to move on. You need to develop that understanding, right? That confidence to be able to actually get it done. Again, it can be just symbolic. It can be energetic. A release. You can write a letter and burn it safely, and throw it out go out at night if you don't want anybody to watch you. You can connect it to a full moon. You can connect it to the full moon is a release. It's a time for releasing. Maybe do it a ritual where you're planning it until the next full moon. Right now, I don't know when it is. But look it up. Google, right? The magician has the willpower to make the changes that are required. And look, the magician is ruled by Mercury. He speaks his truth. Okay. Damn, that was good. Okay. I feel like we've done enough here. Let's see what can they work on, Spirit, aside from what we've already talked about, which was plenty. What else can they work on? Not that much. What else can they work on? Assertiveness. I feel, again, this is helping me understand that. The flow card, I feel that you are the glue that can piece together. You are probably the glue that can help mend some of these broken relationships. If that's something you're interested in doing, you are the supportive one, probably, right? You're the one that kind of helps soften an uncomfortable situation, and that's a lot of stress on you. You are coming through as a magician, okay? And honestly, I feel like a lot of you enjoy that role of, that's as an example in Thanksgiving, and people start to argue, or you come in with either a comment, a comedic energy, a loving energy, and kind of are able to sort of soften things. And that can be a lot of pressure when you're that person. But there's a beautiful energy about you where you kind of just, you can raise your hand almost, and it kind of like stops the conversation. Not in anger or in control or any kind of negative way, but just you're able to kind of like the voice or the energy of reason. I feel that that's also something you're capable of doing. You enrich people's lives by your presence. You bring in harmony. That's quite beautiful. What you're being asked to do is to, perhaps there's an issue, maybe for some of you, with assertion, with being more assertive. Assertion, I don't know if that's the right way of saying that. Being more assertive, right? Speaking up for yourself. But also doing for yourself what you need to do to realign yourself with your passions, with there may be some of you that are not, that where it becomes difficult, where you feel like if I leave a situation, I don't want to abandon anyone. I don't want anyone to feel abandoned, right? If I walk away, if I let go. So that's an internal process you got to work through, right? There's a spark within you that perhaps you haven't allowed yourself to express or to pursue. It's time to do that. And if there's, again, people, something holding you back, this is kind of the time really to start. Maybe because of the retrograde, maybe this is just to tell you, take a couple of weeks to really process. Maybe don't take action. Just take a couple of weeks to process what you need to do to assert yourself and to really claim what it is that your power is, which is a manifester. You can manifest whatever you want. You really can. It doesn't have to be impulsive. You can actually take the time to really sit with it and process. Just think about it. How about just think about it? Maybe write it down. Take some time every day. Just 5 minutes. 5 minutes goes so... life is going like this. So take 5-10 minutes and sit down with yourself, with your thoughts. Write down what you want to accomplish in the coming year. Not as a resolution, I want to start getting things done because I have all the abilities to be able to get my stuff done. It's time. It's just time. I'm gonna leave it there. I like that. I like the message. Why not? I hope that you enjoyed that. When have I ever had just a 5-card reading? That's pretty cool. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. Just breathe, be patient with yourself during this Mercury retrograde. See it as a blessing that allows you to really take extra time to double check everything. The things that we should be doing probably all the time, right? Don't make assumptions. Don't don't make impulsive, rash decisions. Patience, 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 okay? All right. I hope that you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, my soul embraces yours. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.